and welcome back to Mexico News Network's breaking news, broadcasting from El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Charisma. Now don't forget to follow us on social networks on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter, and also browse through our website on www.mexiconewsnetwork.com to stay informed about all sorts of news in Mexico, the world of technology, science, and more. Now let's move along with more information. Google recently announced at its annual I/O Developers Conference that it will be rolling out a brand new 16-camera rig that captures 360-degree footage built by point-of-view camera company GoPro. The technology is in fact meant to build on Google's continued virtual and augmented reality efforts, which include Google Cardboard. We got a first-hand explanation at Surf Summit earlier on this month on ways Cardboard can be applied to enhance e-commerce and in-store experiences, thanks to an interesting presentation by Mike Yap of YouTube Google Zoo. Google Cardboard just received a couple of updates, which is a nice segue into a device necessary for capturing virtual reality video. Google, as well as GoPros and the Array, a super camera that stitches together video from 16 different cameras into one file. The rendering technology was built in by Google and in fact allows the 3D videos to live on YouTube, a first of the site. All of this is part of Google's brand new platform, which they are calling Jump, which encapsulates a set of tools for capturing and sharing virtual reality content. GoPro has also introduced a ball-shaped rig that in fact supports 6 cameras and a camera-mounted quadcopter drone geared toward consumers that will launch in the year 2016. Now, the company has plans to bring spherical and photo capture to a mass audience, perhaps through a smaller and more accessible rig. The company's move into virtual reality is in fact being seen as a boon in the VR market, according to Jens Christensen, co-founder and CEO of virtual reality content creator and camera maker Jaunt. Jaunt also provides an all-in-one camera and software solution for capturing 360 video. Just like GoPro's rig, the technology is not yet available to the public. Christensen said that they have had Facebook buying Oculus, Google announcing Cardboard, and Valve partnering with HTC. So GoPro moving into VR is another great validation point for the whole VR space. And he thinks that they have established a very strong band, especially around action sports, and there is a very natural follow-on that GoPro to take action sports content into VR in the future. Now, Microsoft has set a release date for Windows 10 to arrive this summer. The software maker announced Monday that it will begin offering its newest software to power PCs and tablets as a free upgrade on July 29th. Windows 10 Mobile, the company's companion software designed to power smartphones, is expected to arrive later on this year. Windows 10 will be free for users who have bought a computer in the past 6 years or so, powered by Windows 7 or later, or tablets also running on Windows 8.1. Windows 10 marks the very next iteration of one of the world's most ubiquitous pieces of software. Microsoft's operating system powers a majority of personal computers and, in fact, acts as the backbone of many of the world's largest businesses. Microsoft hasn't disclosed when computer makers will begin selling PCs preloaded with Windows 10 or when retailers will sell individual licenses in the event you are not eligible for a free upgrade or wish to build your very own computer. However, a leak from online retailer Newegg on Saturday indicated that PC makers would receive the software by August the 31st. Newegg also leaked screenshots revealing that the software sold on its own would cost hardware makers $109, while the professional version will run on $149, according to the listings, which were first spotted by ZDNet. Through its Windows Insider program, which lets eager users sign up to receive developer versions of the software in progress, Microsoft has been more transparent with Windows 10 than previous releases. Ever since its unveiling in September, those early users have in fact watched the software's evolution at first hand. Some of the key changes that Microsoft has in fact made include a revamped Start button and the removal of the unpopular tablet-focused interface of Windows 8. There is also a new browser, Edge, that will be replacing decades of the old Internet Explorer, as well as a more robust version of Cortana, Microsoft's voice-enabled digital software assistant. Now, the most important aspect of Windows 10, however, is the company's philosophy powering it. One Windows to rule them all. Microsoft remains as the world's largest software maker, with Windows running on more than 90% of the world's computers. All of this according to net market share. However, the company had a late start on smartphones and has struggled to keep its software relevant while developers focused on Apple iOS's mobile operating system, Google's Android, and the web at large. PC sales have in fact also been on a steady decline. With Windows 10, Microsoft is making a big gamble that its Windows software can power a web of devices, attracting customers to own computers, tablets, and smartphones, all powered by one company's software. It is a gamble that has worked for Apple. Those iPhones, iPads, Macs, and are all well regarded for working well with one or another. By the year 2018, Microsoft hopes to have more than 1 billion devices running solely on Windows 10, which is very ambitious, particularly considering Microsoft's previous release, Windows 8, which arrived in the year 2012, powered less than 15% of the world's global computers. Now, Google wants to make your phone more secure without having to change the way manufacturers make smartphones. The company, in fact, on Friday announced Project Vault, which packs a digital security system into micro SD cards, which phones and computers usually recognize as storage device. The company unveiled the service during Google's I/O Developer Conference. Regina Dugan, who leads Google's Advanced Technology and Projects Group, or ATAP, which oversees the project, in fact said that Project Vault is your digital mobile safe, big security, small package. The Vault card is essentially a secure computer that protects the personal information of a phone's owner. For instance, it can encrypt or scramble, chat messages from an app, and provide extra levels of authentication to your device, knows that you are you. The card itself has a near-field communication chip for communicating with nearby devices, and also has 4 GB of storage. It can be recognized by any OS, including Google's Android software, Windows, and Apple's operating system X, but all of the software is being run off of one micro SD card. Google will first develop the technology for enterprise companies. The idea is that if it meets the high bar of big companies, it will then meet the standards of all consumers as well. Both the web and mobile security are becoming increasingly vulnerable at a time when more and more consumers' financial and other sensitive data is being stored in smartphone apps as well as online services. Hackers have conducted high-profile attacks on retailers like Target and have pilfered databases in the healthcare and financial industries, gleaning medical records, social security numbers, and credit as well as bank information. The development of secure ways to communicate and store data is a priority for Google as more users flock to its free services like Gmail email service, Chrome web browser, and Google Maps, all of which share data with Google to better inform its advertising products. Now, people can hire an Uber ride in more places than just for the Uber app itself. Apps4weather.com, United Airlines, and Starbucks apps have already pointed users to ride-hailing services. Now today, people will see Uber show up in the Foursquare app as well. Foursquare and Uber have recently announced that they are integrating their capabilities. When a person checks out of the latest restaurants on Foursquare, which is a local search and discovery app, they will be prompted to hail a ride with Uber, of course. This could be a boon for Uber's business, which connects drivers and passengers via a smartphone app, because Foursquare reaches people who may not already use the ride-hailing service. Foursquare, in fact, marks the latest app to hitch itself to Uber. The ride-hailing startup announced last August that any app could in fact interact with it. At the time being, Uber said it was partnering with Starbucks, United Airlines, TripAdvisor, as well as OpenTable. Some of these apps let people hire an Uber ride directly from their app, while others prompt users to go directly to the Uber app. For instance, the United app shows how users closes Uber drivers and fare estimates. Uber said in a blog post, at the time, apps can pass a destination address to pick the Uber app, display pickup times, provide fare estimates, access trip history, and much more. Uber's strategy of placing itself in related apps ensures that its service pops up even when smartphone users do not necessarily have the Uber app up and running. For Uber's integration with Foursquare, the two companies are using a mobile app, deep linking technology called Button, which enables the two apps to integrate and send traffic to one another. Other apps like Glam Squad, Resy, and Handy have also used Button for deep linking. Noah Weiss, Foursquare's Senior Vice President of Product Management, said in a statement that using Button simplified the process of integrating Uber into Foursquare with a few lines of code that they were able to create a seamless experience when requesting an Uber built directly into the app, saving everyone the time and effort. We'll be right back with more information on Mexico and the world after these few messages.
Audio Jungle.